You're on your own up there. And I don't care how tough you are, it'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. But champions don't let it. Winners don't let it. They fight and they succeed. To be a champion, you got to be mean, tough, fierce. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Make this time your time. Don't just call the shots, hit the shots. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not point fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. One shot, one chance. Take it. Show the world you've got what it takes, and ask yourself, who wants it most?
After 70 matches over 15 days, it's finally here. It is the final of the 2011 Ladbrokes.com World Darts Championship, live from the Alexandra Palace here in North London, as we bring you the action in sparkling high definition here on Sky Sports HD 1, in standard definition on Sky Sports 1, and for the first time the final broadcast live into your living room in 3D on the Sky 3D channel. And this is what's in store for you. It's England against Scotland for the richest prize in the sport. Adrian Lewis, the world number 5, looking for his first major title, against Gary Anderson, the Flying Scotsman, who's the standout performer at this year's tournament. As added bonus, we'll bring you live coverage of the PDC Unicorn Under-21 World Championship final between Michael van Gerwen and Aaron Monk. Hi there, good evening. It's 22 years since the great Jockey Wilson last lifted the World Championship trophy. Tonight, there's a Scotsman aiming to follow in those illustrious footsteps. Delighted to say Wayne Mardle, Rod Harrington and Eric Bristow alongside me. Eric, 10 World Finals you were in. You won 5 of them. This could be up there with the best, couldn't it?
This could be the best final ever with these two, yeah. Phil Taylor and Barney was a cracking final, but these two just hit 180s for fun. And if they both come out the traps, it's going to be unbelievable. The highest finish would go, the 180s record would go, the average would be 110, 115 all the way through. It's going to be great, though. Two
of the best flair players on the circuit, yeah, best two.
No question, Dave. The rawest talent that's going to be on that stage. And the difference between both players is they're very confident in their games, so they ain't going to do nothing but just get up there and throw darts. And as Eric said, it's going to be fast and furious, and it's going to be high scoring. Plenty of 180s. It's, you know, it's not very often we look so forward to a game for a final, because Phil normally, you know, murders someone, but this is going to be exceptional.
These two know how to play the crowd, know how to generate excitement, don't they, Wayne?
Well, already people are just sort of, they're cramming in, they really are. It's just, it could be an insane game. And I mean that with the 140s, 180s. It could be darts lunacy.
Every person you ask about this final, they give you a different... Someone says, Lewis because this, this and this. Anderson because this and this. I mean, there's an argument for both of them, isn't there?
They both can win a set in 7 or 8 minutes. They're both capable of just going 11, 11 and 10. And then that set's gone. And then you go off the stage for a break. And then the other one's got to come back from that. It's just frightening, because they're fast. That's what makes it exciting. They're fast. But when they do 11 and 10 and 12 darts when they're fast, it's like 2 minutes, 20 seconds for a leg. And it's all gone just like that.
Rod, does Lewis have to get in early?
Yeah, I mean, I think the set format is going to suit Adrian, because I think Gary on the stats is more consistent. But on the set format, like Eric says, you fire off 3 quick legs, you've won a set. You know, if he can just concentrate on his own game, make sure he doesn't lose his throw too often, then he's got a massive... He'll never have a better chance to win a World Championship.
Both brilliant, Wayne, but both fragile at the same time.
Well, we do keep saying it, but I haven't seen this fragileness of any of them. We've seen them go off for like 2 minutes. But the way that they're just dealing with it, they both look ready to me, they really do. And as they quite rightly said, there could be break after break here. As in 11 darts going in against the throw and 10s. And who's going to rule out a 9? You can't. There's going to be 180s after 180s. It's going to be, I think, stupid. Absolute stupid.
Well, Adrian Lewis has had a pretty comfortable ride through to the final.
I'm probably the most naturalist, gifted player in the world. That's not going to win your tournament. You've got to have the mind with the talent. mark at a few good scores, but I still got there and did the job really.
This is the performance of this World Championship so far.
Could that be his last throw of the World Championship? Mark Dunbridge tops the target for Adrian Lewis. What a match that was!
Before I played Robbie, he was watching me practice, and I was obviously knocking in a few 180s and that. I didn't really talk to him in the practice room, which normally with players I do talk to. But I've learned a new me now. I don't talk to players in the practice room. I get my head on and get myself right for the match.
Here we go. 57. Bullseye for a 167. He's in again. In the red gravy. He's in again. 17. Lipstick. Here we go. Adrian Lewis, 101 average.
I was actually expecting to play Simon, to tell you the truth. And when Vincent won, I was thinking, right, I thought, well, your mind's got changed then from being on Simon Whitlock to going on to Vincent van der Voort. And I think over the space of 48 hours, my mind did that.
The standard incredible. Any miss now is coming as a surprise. But Lewis is missing a lot here today, that's for sure.
Go to the semi-finals. What about Adrian Lewis?
It was a grueling game, really. In patches it was fantastic, in other patches it was mediocre. It seemed that every time I got him, he kept on kicking over 177. I was thinking, come on, leave me alone. And I took out a crucial 64 to go 5 sets to 4 up there, and it was probably the best start I've ever thrown in my life, really, to take that double 8 out, you know, on my last start.
1 point in it, but 130's a better check than 131. Mind you, Lewis wants 216s. Oh, forget that, forget the 130. Lewis pops up 131. How about that? He's playing exhibition errors.
Adrian is on fire for the final 17. Lipstick!
Adrian Lewis, at just 25, is through to his first World Championship final.
Just coming through there, and Prince Harry come up to me and give me a big hug, which is probably the most shocking.
Not bad for a lad from Stoke.
I want one there so much, and I believe I can do it. I want one, well, it mean the world to me. Obviously, being 2011 now, a new year, new Adrian Lewis, and this is my year. This is the year of the jackpot.
So a proud night for Adrian Lewis, a proud night for the man who trained him in the art of the darts, and Phil Taylor's with Rod Studd.
Phil, it's very rare that we chat at this time on finals night. You're normally putting the finishing touches to your preparation. Just sum up how you're feeling tonight when normally you're about to go up on the big stage.
I'm really looking forward to the final, I'll be quite honest with you. I think the two players in the final deserve to be there as well. They have definitely been the best two this week.
Now, as you had a couple of days to reflect on being knocked out of the tournament, we know from the past that when you lose a match, you come back stronger than ever. What are you going to do over the next few weeks before the Premier League? What's the game plan, Phil?
If we can get my little grandson a passport in a few days, I'm going to probably go over to Tenerife or somewhere like that, not too far, but somewhere where it's a bit warm. I know both my grandkids at the minute have got a bit of flu, so get him a little bit of sunshine. Myself now, I'm really looking forward to next year now, because I can make a few changes again and try different things and try and get back on top again.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing that. Now, on tonight's match, you used to work very closely with Adrian Lewis, we know. Now, if you were still coaching him, if you like, what would you say just before he goes out onto the walk-on? Put an arm around his shoulder and say what?
Well, the main thing is enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. If you win a leg or win a set, don't jump about, because you preserve your energy a little bit, you know. Don't waste your energy, especially when it's a long final, because Gary is going to play well. You know, my heart wants Adrian to win. My head a little bit saying Gary is playing maybe the little bit better. But Adrian is playing superb. He's held his nerve. He's played well for the last few months, in fairness to him. So we can win the final. I mean, people are saying Gary's, you know, miles out there favourite, but believe me, he's not. Adrian hasn't really played as well as what he can yet.
Yeah, just on Adrian, when you met him, he was a teenager, and fair to say, he was probably a boy. Do you think tonight will be the night when he becomes a man?
Well, he is a man now. I mean, he's a father. He's got his own little child now running around. He's got a mortgage. He's got everything else. He has to go out now and earn a living. Unfortunately, he's not with his mum anymore. When I met him, he was with his mum and dad. But he's a lovely lad. He is. He really is. You know, he puts his heart on his sleeve, and again, he's full of talent. He is a lovely kid, and he can win this. No problems whatsoever.
Sorry, Phil, yeah, just very quickly, in 2 words, who's going to win, Gary Anderson or Adrian Lewis?
Now you're putting me on the spot, aren't you? I'm going to go for AD.
Thanks, Phil. Look, we look forward to seeing you in the Premier League. You're not playing tonight, they're still singing your name. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
There must be a degree of pride from Phil Taylor, the man that he trained. I mean, you did the same with him, trained him, and then he went on to be the great champion.
Yeah, you wonder that when you're playing with somebody, like if they're going to actually do it. You know what I mean? And when they finally just get up there, you feel good. You know, you haven't wasted all that time trying to teach somebody. And he's a brilliant player. They're both brilliant players here. And I feel sorry for the loser tonight. I really do. Because I've won it and lost it, and the loser's going to be heartbroken tonight.
Well, it was Gary Anderson's power scoring that got him through to the final.
It's a game that we've been brought up with. You know, I've seen the whole of the world with darts, and I've been lucky enough to say have a gift. Dennis is a legend, you know. He just battles on. You know, he's 60-year-old. He's played darts for decades, and he plays just the same.
Tops for the match and a place in the last 16. Yes, he's got it.
Yes, brilliant performance from Priestley, but a fabulous match.
I've never bet Andy in the last 6, 7, 8 games that we've played in the tour, you know, and he made a point to remind me before we played.
The standard is incredible. This is World Championship form. Gary Anderson to finish off one of the most memorable performances in the history of the World Professional Darts Championship.
Really nervous before the game. Lost the first set, and then Barney gave it big licks, which I think, to be honest, helped spurred me on. You know, if he had just hit that double and walked off the stage, he would probably done the 6-0. But he gave it a bit of licks, and nah, I wasn't happy with that, so give it back time.
These two are amongst the very best in the world. Pressure on Barney, a 180 from Anderson. Barney needs a treble here to give him a shout. He's done it. Double 18 for the set. Oh, what a... Look at that. Wow, how important could that prove to be?
Gary Anderson is a man on a mission.
Here he goes again. If he breaks Barney here, he could break it for good. Can he win it here? Double 12 for the match for Gary Anderson! Take that,
It was a hard game, you know, a lot of the sets went 2-2 and I managed to pinch it in the final leg. You know, it was a hard game because Terry just keeps battling on.
Now then, Bull again. He's got it once tonight. He looks at Jenkins' score and he'll go for it. Oh, magic! Absolute magic!
The chance of a lifetime for Anderson. Who goes into the World Championship final?
Yes, it is the biggest tournament, you know. Ladbrokes World Championships, it's the biggest tournament on the earth. And to win it, like I say, there's Phil's won it, Mark's won the BDO World Champions. I don't know what it's like to be a world champion.
He's a very level-headed character, but almost lost his cool against Dennis Priestley when he was pushed hard.
To be honest, on paper it wasn't the hardest because he's played Raymond, but it was the hardest on the dartboard. Yeah, he nearly come a cropper there.
He's blasted in the tons, the 180s, for fun, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, I think if you look at his stats, the 180s and 140s, I mean, that really does control the game, especially the 140s. 180s are for fun, but the 140s wins your matches and wins your titles.
You predicted this final from day one. Sat in the studio, you told us...
Oh, stop it.
Oh, here we go. That's it now.
Say it again, go on.
Eric, you predicted this final from day one. You said Anderson would win it. You're going to stick with that?
Yeah, he's played the best out of the two. They're both playing marvellous. I've got him to win 7-4. And if Lewis wins it, good luck to him.
Rod, your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, I think on stats you've got to go with Gary, but if Adi can keep that third dart nice and straight, nice and keen, don't just throw it away, massive chance for Adi. I'm going to go 7-5 either way.
Wayne?
Can you go either way? Is that allowed?
No.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Anderson on the odds.
Oh, I think it's going to go 6-0, and then I have no idea. You can't. I'm going to go 7-4, Gary.
And Eric, will it be one of the great finals, do you think?
Yes, I think it will, yeah. I would like not to be working tonight and sat down and watched this. I would have pleasantly sat down there and had a good night watching this.
OK, we'll see you later on. That's about half an hour away, the final. As an added bonus, we've got the PDC Unicorn Under-21 World Championship final. Just the best of 11 legs. Features Michael Van Gerwen and Aaron Monk, the 3D commentary team, Rod Studd and John Gwynn. And Rod Harrington's heading down to a commentary box where he'll be joined by Nigel Pearson.
Dave, thanks very much indeed. Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the Alexandra Palace. This is the curtain raiser, the undercard before the main event. But this is arguably the biggest game in these two young men's career. Aaron Monk, a familiar surname, of course, is the son of the veteran professional Colin Monk. 60. And just to repeat what Dave Clark has said, the best of 11 legs, first to 6 then, will be crowned World Under-21 champion. Van Gerwen, who's already appeared on this Alexandra Palace stage in the first round of the World Championship. Doubles were his shortfall on that occasion. He was beaten in the first round, which was a major disappointment for Van Gerwen, and it was the doubles that really proved to be his undoing, because he is a fine, naturally gifted player. There was a time when Van Gerwen was actually at the same level as Adrian Lewis. In many experts' eyes, they thought that Van Gerwen and Lewis were progressing at the same rate, and yet here we are on finals night. Lewis in the world final, Van Gerwen making do with a place in the World Under-21 final. Rod Harrington's made his way alongside me into the commentary box, and Rod, two fine young players, and good to see them up on the big stage.
Yeah, I think it's great, Nigel. I mean, the PDC is ostensibly going to support youth darts now, and we need to find the new, you know, Phil Taylor and Gary Andersons and Dennis Priestley's, and this is the way to do it. I mean, Van Gerwen has been around a long time, though, for a youngster, and should be used to the big crowd, should be used to the big stage and TV. But this young man, Aaron Monk, comes from the Andover Academy, and they're starting to breed a lot of good players.
Well, I did make the point as you were making your way down to commentary that there was a time when this man was compared to Lewis as the same generation coming through the system, and perhaps at a similar rate of knots, and many expected Van Gerwen to be on a level with Adrian Lewis, but it's just not happened for Michael Van Gerwen, Rod, on a consistent enough basis.
I was out in Holland a few years ago, Nige, and he lost to Barney in the final there. And I watched this kid, and I thought, and he was a kid, I thought, this is an unbelievable talent. This guy was going to take the darts world by storm. 85. But when he come over, like you say, he just hasn't done it.
Well, if you've just joined us here at the Alexandra Palace, it's about 20 minutes or so until the world final. Adrian Lewis and Gary Anderson. You're watching the World Under-21 Championship final here right now. First to 6 legs, so it's a quick-fire format, and Aaron Monk is set on a finish of 78. So around about 20 minutes or so to the main event, A.D. Lewis and Gary Anderson in a final which everybody is predicting to be an absolute classic. Make sure you stay with us throughout the course of the night. Now, Aaron Monk needed treble 18 there. Which way will he go now? With Van Gerwen breathing down his neck on 102, it will be a tall order for Van Gerwen on the form that he's showing right now, but he can still take this out. 102 he needs, with Monk set on 56. Chance for Aaron Monk now, Rod.
Yeah, and this will settle the young man down. He can take this out, 16 for double top. This is big darts in this first leg at this short format for young Monkey. I mean, that nice clinical finish. That will settle him down. You know, Michael now, he knows he's got to win this over this short format. Cannot give you a throw away in the second leg.
44. Aaron Monk from Basingstoke. And they actually reached the final with the last 16 onwards at Barnsley to actually get this far. Aaron Monk in the semi-finals got the better of Lewis Baines 4-2. Van Gerwen got the better of a fellow Dutchman, Benito van der Paas, 4-1 in the semi-finals. This is the final of the World Under-21 Championship, and Van Gerwen, far from fluent and far from his normal self, because we know what a naturally gifted player he is. Great to watch on occasions, and still a great occasion for both players, Rob.
Yeah, hugely. As I said, Michael's been up there a lot of times before, but this is for Aaron Monk the start of perhaps a wonderful career. You know, in a few years' time, he could be up on that big stage playing 20 minutes' time. And you know, talking about that final, Nige, I don't think I've ever witnessed so much atmosphere and anticipation for a final. I mean, it's going to be huge.
Absolutely right. Michael van Gerwen, Mighty Mike. Again, comparisons with the other quick-fire Dutch players, Jelle Klaassen, Vincent van der Voort, who had a terrific World Championship, and the latest odds for the World Final, which is coming up in a few moments' time. Adrian Lewis, Gary Anderson, head-to-head, first to 7 sets. And look at this from Aaron Monk. 140. That's the first 10-40 of the match for Aaron Monk.
Yeah, Michael just cannot find the range, and what happens with these very quick throwers, Nige, once they've lost the range with the first dart, they've lost the range with all three. They just cannot adapt, they cannot move around the board, and if he doesn't find it very quickly, then Aaron's going to run away, and this is a beautiful setup from Monk.
Well, if Aaron Monk can break Van Gerwen in the context of a short format game.
60.
Now, which way will he go? Will he go 8 for tops, or will he go 16 double 16? Tops he needs now for Aaron Monk for a 2-0 lead. Not too far away.
8 score.
Well, he'll be disappointed that he didn't take that out, Ron.
He will be, but realistically, the way Michael's been playing, I was going to say he might not take this out. He's missed the treble 19, but that was close. But Aaron now, he's got 3 clear darts in his double top. What he doesn't want to do is put this one on the top wire, because his darts seem to lay down a little bit and put it straight in. You can see what it means to him, and it's big money for these youngsters tonight.
Absolutely. £10,000 to the winner of the PDC Unicorn World Under-21 Championship, 5 grand to the runner-up. And Aaron Monk, with a break of throw, has a 2-0 lead here. Dad Colin will be delighted. As with any professional player in any professional sport with a famous father, brother, it always has to be mentioned in any profile that Aaron is the son of Colin Monk. And of course he played in the UK Open at Bolton in the summer. As we continue the build-up, set betting now. Lewis 7-0, 80-1. How Adrian had loved that.
I think only chances will and grandmothers, as Aaron puts his first 180 in on a match. I mean, that really will fire him up now, and Michael is really up against the wall already. But you were saying about the father, I mean, that's why Aaron's got such a lovely throw. You know, Colin has really said, look, this is the way you throw dart, this is the way the top players, and he's got it as he's filling this up again.
Oh, delightful darts from Aaron Monk. Well, he's playing well here, isn't he? He's on a finish of 87 for a 3-0 lead. He'll be halfway to victory. Van Gerwen knows that he's up against it here. And Aaron Monk sitting on 87 now.
Do you know what, and all, Nige, he looks so cool, doesn't he? Doesn't look like he's panicking. There's not sweat running off his face, which is a sign of big nerves. He's really calm, collected, and now you can't see him giving the game up from here, but this game, as we know, Nige, can turn on a sixpence or on one dart.
Tops a Monk for 3-0. Oh, delightful finishing. He's 60% at the double, Aaron Monk, and this man hasn't had one shot at a double yet. Terrific stuff from Aaron Monk, playing beautifully. 81st in the PDC Order of Merit, 50 places below mighty Michael van Gerwen. Fine display, and Aaron Monk has the chance to become a world champion here in the under-21 final. Remember, Adrian Lewis and Gary Anderson standing by.
43.
They'll be on stage in a short while, doing battle for the Ladbrokes.com World Darts Championship in an eagerly awaited showdown between two players who are quick fire, spectacular, and desperate to win a world title for the first time in their career.
Yeah, certainly the two rawest talents in the game that have finally stepped up to the mark. We've always talked about what they can do. This time they've delivered it, Nigel, and as I said, it's going to be a great spectacle. The anticipation is incredible, not only from the crowd, but from all the staff, the Sky staff and the PDC staff. Everyone is looking forward to it.
85.
Yeah, everybody I've spoken to today as well, absolutely looking forward to the action. Van Gerwen finally finding a little bit of form here in the under-21 final with a nice 140. That's his second of the match, yet to hit a 180. This young man, Aaron Monk, has hit 2 180s so far. Has that 3-0 lead, and he's a tidy player. Very impressive. Saw him at Bolton in June in the UK Open. Lost to Dennis Evans there, and he's got a great future, Aaron Monk, for sure. Double 16 for Van Gerwen now. He's back in business. He gets his first leg on the board, but he only holds his throw there.
Yeah, what Aaron's got to do is hold his throw now, and he can't lose the match. Important leg for him, but he knows that Michael's going to have to break him twice. And do you know what I like about it? What a lovely rhythm he's got, Nige. You know, when you're going to teach people and you say, look, don't waste darts, like I say about Adi Lewis, don't waste that third dart. You look at Aaron Monk's throw, and that's going to come from his dad. You know, you don't do this, you don't do that, you do this, son. And you can see this, it's a lovely throw, it comes right back to that right eye, he sights it beautifully, comes back to the right eye, and then just a good strong release. And
very tidy.
And the rhythm, he doesn't panic a dart.
That's exactly what Rod Harrington's talking about there. Van Gerwen, too quick for his own good in many experts' eyes. What's your thought on that, Rod?
Yeah, it is too quick. It is a good release, but the speed of the second and third dart that follows that first, if that first is not right, the other two will follow wherever it is. Sometimes, if you're just slowing up a bit, you're going to be more consistent.
100.
And, it's something that Michael's going to have to look at, as in Jelle Klassen as well, because they're just a tad too quick.
Nice darts from Van Gerwen, and he has an opportunity here to break back. Best of 11 legs then to win the World Under-21 final. And don't forget, Gary Anderson and Adrian Lewis, the main event, standing by in a mouth-watering world final. Van Gerwen on 161, treble 17 for Bull, and it goes back up the board.
80.
Now, a real challenge for Aaron Monk to hold his throw.
160.
Well, that treble 3 could be crucial, because when Van Gerwen comes back, may only get a dart at the bullseye. So if Aaron Monk can hit a ton, even a 95 will do him. Now, don't miss a big number. He may go 25, because that'll give him 2 darts at double top. Well, he's going to get 2 darts at a double, whatever. So now, crucial 81 for Van Gerwen. Wants double 12.
69.
Oh, double problems again for Van Gerwen. It has to be said, he had a nightmare in the first round of the World Championship. Double 10 for Aaron Monk. Oh, that's how to finish. He's a very, very tidy player, Aaron Monk. 4-1 ahead, and that will hurt Van Gerwen, because this man knows he should have broken back there. Now he's holding his throw, and, well, Van Gerwen blew the opportunity, and his doubles, his finishing, let him down in the first round of the senior competition.
Yeah, Aaron Monk 67% on doubles, 4 out of 6. Van Gerwen only on 33%. And then we have coming up in about 20 minutes, Adrian Lewis against Gary Anderson. The quickest and highest scoring game
57.
we will have seen for a few years, that's for sure. Anderson, 5 ton plus averages on his way to the final, and Adi Lewis not far behind him, so we are really in for a massive final.
Aaron Monk is within 2 legs
41.
of becoming a world champion at the age of 20. Lewis and Anderson, one of those, will be crowned world champion for the first time
58.
tonight. What a night at the Alexandra Palace. And it's coming immediately after this match. Aaron Monk averaging 82 almost.
47.
And Van Gerwen 82.5.
Well, in the finals, you can see in the caption, the 180 is 29 or less,
96.
to 11, 30 or more evens. If that final goes to 12 sets, you've got to say it's going to go over the way they've been playing.
Yeah. For fun. 180s for fun. Crowd are giving good order to these 2 players. They are enjoying this, but they know the main event is just around the corner. Van Gerwen desperate to hold his throw. Sets himself up for 90.
Well, Aaron will be looking for a 140 because he knows he's hitting his doubles. A 140 will give him a dart at double top, which has been his favourite. Now he just lay it on that second dart. Oh, that's unlucky.
80.
He did nearly exactly what I asked him to do, but he's just
90.
taken the momentum off that dart.
Nicely done by Michael Van Gerwen. Tops with a finish, the bullseye work to treat. And he's just hanging on in there. 4-2, Aaron Monk leads here. But if he holds his throw, then quite clearly he's going to go on and be crowned World Under-21 champion. And with the darts, a ton 40 is a lovely way to start, Rod.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, we call it shape, we call it form, and Aaron Monk's rhythm is absolutely perfect. You know, he's in a major final on the major stage for his first time, and he's conducting himself extremely well. So he comes out of the Andover Academy, and they are
60.
breed is not a great word, but it is the right word. They're breeding some great young dart players now.
Yeah, the PDC announced yesterday how closely they're going to be working with the youth tour, of course, and I know that's something that you're very close to, Rod.
Yeah, I managed to get a load of money out of Mr. Hearn on the board, and it was a bit of a fight to get money out of his pocket, but we managed to get 60,000 for next year.
79.
So an extensive youth tour coming up.
And what about the world final? Who is going to get the most 180s? Lewis or Anderson?
171.
Well, that's a hard one to call out his dodge. He threw it over to me. I've been sitting on the fence all day with this, and I'm going to say Lewis on the 180s.
Well, it's going to be something special.
58. Michael, you require 130.
And it's just moments away. 2011 Ladbrokes.com World Championship final. Ball for Van Gerwen here.
105.
Chasing
Aaron
a break of
require
throw.
164.
Now Aaron Monk on 164. This would be something special for the young man.
What he's got to do, Nige, he's just got to set it up. I used the word set up. He needs a treble. He puts pressure on Van Gerwen because he knows Van Gerwen is prone to missing doubles. Didn't really pressure the shot. So nice and fluent this should be, and it's exactly what it is. If it had put some real pressure, he might have made it miss like he did the 12s.
That's a massive break-up throw for Michael Van Gerwen. With that finish, averaging 87 now, you do get the feeling that if he does hit top form, he's capable of winning 3 legs on the spin to win the title here, Rod. But Aaron's a very tidy player. He'll just be disappointed, Aaron Monk, that he conceded a leg with the throw there, because he could almost see the finish line.
100.
Yeah, you're right. When you're in that commanding position, the great players close the game out very quickly. But these are young men. Experience, there's no substitute for experience in any sport, Nige. You've been around sportsmen for a long time. And it's exactly true. But I have to say, both players look very comfortable on that stage.
Yeah, been around sport for a while, working in a professional capacity, but
61.
this year's World Darts Championship has been one of the highlights for me. Certainly it's been a tremendous occasion, and it's just going to get even better. Van Gerwen with a lovely 10-40, but Lewis and Anderson, a terrific final to look forward to, and an absolute privilege to be here to sample the atmosphere and the build-up and the match itself. We can't wait.
44.
No, we certainly can't.
164.
I think if Lewis comes out firing on all cylinders, he could get a good 2 sets up before Gary Anderson even blinks, to be
51.
quite honest. And that's what he's got to do.
Adrian's been threatening for so long. We are watching the World Under-21 final right now, Aaron Monk and Michael van Gerwen, but Adrian Lewis has been threatening for a while, ever since he beat Barney, of course, at Blackpool in a thriller in the match play 4 years ago. It was a brilliant match, commentated with Sid on that one.
81.
And when you look at it, Adrian finally reaching a world final and doing himself justice. But will he prevail, or will it be Gary Anderson to be crowned world champion tonight?
I think the difference in 80 from, say, the Grand Prix, Nige, I think he's grown up. You know, he's learned a bit of respect and discipline in himself to think, well, I can do this, as Van Gerwen now goes to 32, double 8. Hits him with his third dart.
Look what it means to him. Levels the match, 4 apiece. Basically now it's best of 3 legs to win the World Under-21 title. The world final itself, Lewis and Anderson coming up in around a quarter of an hour or so.
100.
They're in the practice room, getting set for one of the most eagerly awaited world finals from a number of years. No Phil Taylor this year, but my word, the final is going to be every bit the spectacle that we expect. High standard of play, toe-to-toe, and first to 7 sets will be crowned world champion.
Yep, the nerves are going to be flying about down in that practice room at the moment. You know, you're going from, if you miss a double when you're having a practice, you're going, oh, I'm not going to do that on the stage, to hitting the 180 and go, I'm going to hit plenty of them. It really is a roller coaster emotional ride for these guys at the moment. But when they get on that stage, Nige, it's all defined, refined, I should say. You know, total concentration, and there they are in the practice room.
A lot of it is the mental state, isn't it? Because it's their first world final, so you know, a lot of that in terms of how they prepared from the moment they got out of bed this morning. It's a big day for them.
They were on the same dartboard. In any other sport, you wouldn't see that very often, would you? You know, I wouldn't want to do that, so I wouldn't want to look at what he's hitting.
Well, this one nicely poised. Aaron Monk was in a good position to go on and win this, and could still do so. Whatever happens, we know that we'll have no more than 3 legs to decide this now.
121.
Well, it's got 121. He needs the treble 18. It's a strange way of going. You practice on that treble 20 all day, and he goes for the treble 17, but obviously he knows more than me. Bullseye. Oh, what a great shot.
121 for Aaron Monk to check out and go within a leg of the Under-21 world title. Well done, that man. And now pressure on mighty Michael van Gerwen.
60.
Well, 71% Aaron Monk has on his finishes, and I tell you what, there's any top professional, the 2 in the final, Lewis or Anderson, will be over the moon with 71%.
Absolutely right. 82.5 average. Whatever happens now, this match has only got a maximum of 2 more legs to run before we bring on Lewis and
59.
Anderson for the world final itself. Van Gerwen has to hold his throw to take us into a deciding leg.
60.
Well, a massive chance here for young Aaron. A 140, that's what he'll be looking for. Give him control of the leg. That's a beautiful dart. Should lay this one on top of that. Plenty of room there for the third, Nige. We can hit it from here, can we? Oh.
125.
5-1 for a 9-darter in the world final. How many times last night in the semi-finals did we see players on a 9-darter after what, 5, 6 darts? Couldn't quite finish it off. Don't put it past one of these boys to do one tonight in the final.
Well, Adrian Lewis to throw the 9-darter, 12-1. I can remember when Ladbrokes would give you 50-1 for a player. That's how much the standard has improved.
Van Gerwen in a spot of bother here, but this is nice recovery. Oh, that's the first time that's happened to him. Aaron Monk's had a couple of bounce outs in this match. That was heading for a 180. Van Gerwen still on a finish. Now, Monk looking to set himself up for the best finish possible. 2 in here.
What a time to put a maximum in. Van Gerwen had his third dart fall out, which would have left him on 104. So now Aaron Monk, 67 to become the Unicorn Youth World Champion.
67.
To start a real illustrious career in this sport. Double 8.
For the World Under-21 title, double 4! Aaron Monk is the new PDC Unicorn World Under-21 champion! Congratulations to him! It's success for the Englishman now tonight against the Dutchman. And in the final itself, it's England's Adi Lewis and Scotland's Gary Anderson.
That's your starter. Coming next, the main event. The 2011 Ladbrokes.com World Darts Championship final. It's Adrian Lewis against Gary Anderson. Adrian Lewis's manager, Keith Deller, is backstage talking to our man.
Well, Keith, we can see AD practicing behind you. How's he feeling? How's he doing?
I think he's very confident. Last night was a tough game against Mark Webster, and he was a bit tired last night, AD. He didn't sleep well the night before, which I think semi-final nerves, but he woke up today and I said to him, you're in the biggest final of ever, which everyone in this country would love to be in, and he's all ready for this tonight. He likes playing Gary. Gary's a fantastic dart player, maybe so far the best player this week, but tonight Adrian's really up for the title.
What have you said to him? I mean, obviously you have the experience of playing in and winning a World Championship final.
I think when he lost in the final of the Grand Prix, I said to AD, although he was disappointed, you know, that's going to help you a lot for the future, because, you know, there's nothing horrible. You're standing on that stage, you're watching the other player hold the big trophy up. And I just said to him today, you've got to go up there and enjoy it, because, you know, it's the biggest tournament in the world. And, you know, he believes in himself. You know, I said, you know, don't be scared to win it, which he's not. And when I went with Adrian, from day one, all we're looking at is the majors. And already he's been in the Grand Prix final. James Wade deserved to win that, and he's in the biggest final now, and he's ready for it.
Keith Deller, the 1983 world champion, but who will be crowned king this year? Will it be Lewis or will it be Anderson? Let's hear from the players.
Everybody keeps writing me off, saying I choke at certain points. Got a lot more experience. I can go up there and show where I really am.
Every game I've played well, you know, so if I was to go up there and lose, hats off, shake the man's hand, he's played better darts, you know, but the way I've played, I'm more than happy with that.
We're both fantastic 180ers, massive scorers. But I think if I can put him under pressure there from the off, I don't think he's going to really push this week.
My scoring's always been good. Doubles can be a bit shady at times, you know, but hopefully the scoring will pull out.
If you're world champion, nobody can take that away from you, and there's only one person that can stop me doing it now.
You do want to win, you know, so if you've got 3 darts, of course you want to hit. You don't want to miss with them. You don't want to give anybody another chance.
Moments I probably haven't got odds of third gear, and I'm in the World Championship final, which is a strange feeling in a way, but now I've got that one in the tank.
I hope it's a good game, because that's as long as it's a great game, that's what matters.
That's what everybody plays for, that's what everybody practices for. I mean, I don't do 6 hours a day to turn up there and be running up. I'm up there for winning.
Whatever happens, there will be a new name on that World Championship trophy. The final is coming next.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. You're on your own up there. And I don't care how tough you are, it'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. But champions don't let it. Winners don't let it. They fight and they succeed. To be a champion, you got to be mean, tough, fierce. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Make this time your time. Don't just call the shots, hit the shots. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not point fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. One shot, one chance. Take it. Show the world you've got what it takes, and ask yourself, who wants it most?
Two and a half thousand fans ready for battle to commence. It is the final of the 2011 Ladbrokes.com World Darts Championship, live from the Alexandra Palace in North London. And these, the men who will go into battle. Adrian Lewis, the world number 5, looking for his first major title against Gary Anderson, the Flying Scotsman, who's the standout performer at this year's tournament. After 70 matches, 15 days of competition, it has come down to this. England against Scotland for the richest prize in the sport of darts. £200,000 up for grabs. Wayne Mardle, you can feel the tension in the air right now. The crowd have gone quiet. They're ready for the walk-ons. They're ready for the big night.
Well, as a dart player, you want to be up there, but I don't think I'd like to be one of the two players at the moment because they'd be absolutely... They're ready, but they're scared, believe me. I was going to swear. Oh, they will be absolutely ready.
Rod, you've been in a world final. What's it like? What will they be going through right now?
Oh, they'll be shivering with excitement, and I'd love to be up there. You know, if I could jump in one of their places, you'd love it. I mean, it's the most incredible feeling you're ever going to have. You do doubt yourself a little bit, you know, and that's what you've got to get out of it before you start throwing. In the practice room, a little bit of doubt comes in, but the first few legs, get the double, get the scoring going, and they'll be both flying. It will be a life-changing night for one of these players.
Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. And a worthy winner, whoever wins it. It's been a fantastic 15 days, it's been a fantastic tournament. And in the last 10 minutes for both of these players has been the longest 10 minutes of their life. You keep just looking at your watch, 9 minutes to go, 8 minutes to go. It just goes on and on and on. You just want to get up there now and get on with the job.
What about the first 3 darts? Your hands must be shaking. You've been in more semi-finals than pretty much anybody.
Well, yeah, what it is it's actually a funny experience because you're, as we're saying now, the experience now is horrible. But the minute you get up there, that's it. It's like, right, now do or die. So you actually get forced into a corner. And I expect them to just do what they've been doing. They haven't exactly been slow starters, so no worries for them at all.
Just the 88 180s between the two of them. They can score, and score heavily, these boys.
Yeah, I mean, and the 140s as well, Dave. Huge amount of 140s. I mean, we have got the 2 best scorers of the treble 20 in the game worldwide, so there's no reason why it ain't going to carry on.
Well, we are ready for the greatest show on earth.
Coming to you live from the Alexandra Palace, London. It's the Ladbrokes.com World Darts Championship final, brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. We are live on Sky Sports HD and Sky Sports 3D. It's time now to meet the finalists. Would you please welcome the pride of Scotland, the Flying Scotsman, Gary Anderson! And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's Jackpot! Adrian
Interesting to see the crowd and the influence they have on it. Gary Anderson waving the Scottish flag there. Barney did it a couple of years ago. He'll live to regret it.
Well, ain't something I would have done, Dave. I mean, to get the crowd on your back straight away, I don't think it's a good idea. But the way Gary's played this week, he seems to have done really well in shutting everything off. So it may not affect him one little bit. If they start booing him in the first set here, and if they do, that's when Adrian's got to get into him really quick.
This could be the longest match either of them have been involved in. I mean, you've talked about fitness of darts players. That could be key in this World Championship final.
Oh, certainly, Dave. I mean, when you get into the back sets, the concentration, you start to get tired. And of course, they've been here day in, day out, and that will take a toll on their body. So, you know, they've got to be careful of taking too much cold water and all, because sometimes that affects it.
For the first time, the final in 3D, your 3D commentary team, Wayne Mardle and Stuart Pike.
First leg, Gary.
And here on HD1 and Sky Sports 1, Rod Studd and Sid Waddell.
We've got some muckle. Congratulations. The Right Honourable Alex Salmon, First Minister of Scotland, sent a letter to the Scots. And I've got in my briefcase 6 mince oat cakes for 80. Which would you rather have, kid?
A spine-tingling sporting occasion, Sid. And have no doubt, this is one of the events of the sporting year. It's Gary Anderson's fiancée, Rachel.
96.
Originally from the Edinburgh area, moved to near Eyemouth and Fife. And now, big man in the West Country, in Darton as a public end. Formerly called Dream Boy. Doesn't like that now.
132.
Says he's too old to be a Dream Boy at 40. It's Katie, Adi Lewis's girlfriend. Her little daughter, Myla, born about 18 months ago.
99.
Big night for her dad.
Interestingly, Phil Taylor put that in the balance sheet positive. Adrian's consistency under the mentorship of Keith Dillon.
104.
Dillon wants to see sparkle, not rockets all the time. Double top, the opening account. Middle of the table for the Bonnie Wheeler.
Just the start he wanted, Sid. We've talked a lot this week about getting that first leg under their belt, and to get it
50th.
under his belt in 15 darts with a 104 finish. Lovely.
If I could get my leg under my belt, I'd gone on the stage as the Newcastle as a contortionist. Lovely cover shot.
174.
2 of them. Anderson averaging 112 to Lewis's 109.
And that is the first, I think, Sid, of many. We were looking in the record books. The record, 31. Barney, Taylor, 07. Barney, 21 maxes.
100.
Taylor, 10. Could be under threat.
Barney, no maxes. For 3 sets, and then he got behind the Aras and did some Zen.
109.
Stop on Trent Zen. Wedgwood Zen. Spells in. Well, the way they've been throwing the 9-darter a possibility. The bookies will only offer you 5-1 against a 9-darter tonight. Incredibly short price. Lewis a short price to level the match at 1 each. And for the cafe baristas amongst you, double 9. No bother. Adrian warmed up on coke. And this lad has had 17 skinny laddies. Drink laddie and go baggy. 5-7 in the tournament. Make that 5-8. Put your granny in a roomie. Send your daddy to the steamy. Get some biscuits and a droppy. This darts match will make you happy. Well, I said it was 5-1 against the 9-darter. It's a lot shorter now because Lewis could do it in a world final.
Adrian require 141.
What Alan Stoke. Gobbo is smacked. John Liney. Double 12. Eddie, it's a 9-darter. Get £10,000 on the kiddie. We have sensation in no time at all. Have you ever seen anything like it in a World Championship final? Adrian Lewis, a 9-dart leg. It's only the third leg of the match. But Sid, he's at it again. 140. But Gary Anderson, Sid, has been on the wrong end of 9-darters before by Mervyn King in the UK and Wade in the Grand Slam. And he won both those games. So we've got Taylor 8 months ago doing 2 9-darters, nearly 3 at Wembley. Now 80 trying to do 3 or 4 9-darters in the world final. Look at the average. 134. Making 105 look like a wishy-washy washing line. Note. What about Lewis's reaction to it? James Wade's brain went AWOL when he hit the 9-darter against Anderson, lost the match. Mervyn King, not the same, but still lost the match to Anderson at the UK. Lewis seems to be walking around like nothing's happened, Sid. Well, that's the Della influence.
161.
To end with an average of over 130 and a 9-darter. Once the bull.
136.
He'll be back. Adrian Lewis is averaging telephone numbers. A 9-dart finish. Gary Anderson's averaging 107, but is in danger of being blown away in the first set. Lewis wants 9 for double 8. For the set, it's the dibble, it's finesse. Well, I've been doing this for a long time. I did the first ever final Lewis against Lobo, when they are averaging about 93 each at this stage. Adrian Lewis 9-darter, 123 average, and the fun has only begun. Incredible start to a World Championship final ever. Adrian Lewis hit 2 180s, then went 7, 8, 9-dart finish on double 12. We've had nearly 30 attempts down that line, but nobody got past 6. This is heavenly darts. Knows his own talent. Knows his talent, brothers. Well, for the moment he picked up a dart as a teenager, he must have dreamed of doing that. Lewis has taken the first set. It's a race to 7, but that is the stuff that darting dreams are made of. It came in the third leg of the match. And I like what my friend Vincent wanted to it. I'm sitting with the other night, having a cherry hearing. He said, if I didn't still dream, I would give up. We are seeing a Stoke on Trent Sporting Dream. Dream on, Adrian Lewis, dream on. He's hit 5 maximums in the match. Anderson has hit only 1. 100. Former mentor, Philip, had a go at a few people, showed a bit of bombast, and has been meek as a lamb for 2 days. 100. Adrian's former mentor. Tell you what, Sid, neither of us will forget that double 9-darter from Phil Taylor at the Premier League final. Could Adi follow suit in this? 140. First 4 legs, 5.5 minutes. Incredible. Tungsten. 100. Electricity. This lad
Weak psyche. Half a dozen times went to the lakeside, that place. Down Surrey. Never lived up to his talent.
94.
Shook his darts in the Bob Potter sink.
Judy Murray, mum of Andy Murray, great Scottish sportsman. We've got another great Scottish sportsman on stage tonight in Gary Anderson. But at the moment, Lewis on song.
He's been given pickings the size of mini microbes by the genius
93.
who lives on oat cakes and black tea and red bits and green bits and red bits. Red bit again.
46.
We'll be back for a green bit, but Anderson might render those missed darts at a double very expensive. He's missed the treble 14. He's hit the treble 13 for double 12.
62.
Pressure on Anderson.
And we know what happens, Anderson. If he misses a few wee doubles early on, Adrian Trutchen going to cross the dart.
6.
Driving his arm over the dart. Anderson has been known to get the water in to lose faith. Double 6. Mile away. Oh, having a disaster.
No score.
Got to get
Adrian, you require 4.
one of the first 3 sets. Needs a feather now, 80. Matt, who's...
Well, from the sublime of the 9-darter to the ridiculous of a double 1 finish. Ridiculously, Sid, both those legs count exactly the same in the scorebook.
57.
That's right, such a cruel game. So what some toffee nose papers say today. When Taylor's out, the lads scream and shout, not just the commentators. Lovely, that's more like the Dream Boy.
100.
80.
You'd be worried if you were a fan or a backer of Gary Anderson.
94.
You've seen him miss a lot of doubles before over the years, maybe groups of 5 or 6 at a time, but not this week. Not this week he hasn't done it.
Having a mare,
50.
nightmare. She knows, that's his lady, Rachel. Needs to wiggle. Wiggle room needed.
99.
Beautiful use of the line. Gotta get one of the first 3, or else he's in tungsten limbo. Ain't dancing.
Yeah, still some questions about Gary Anderson's stamina at the end of that quarter-final in the
94.
Grand Prix to Phil Taylor. After 7 sets, he said he was very tired.
There's 9 out of that. The PDC final. The tension usually robs them of their natural tungsten juices. Not tonight. Although I've seen Gary
100.
throwing better.
103.
6-0 in recent matches in favour of 80. That could be playing on the Scots as well. Double 6. Oh!
In his second leg. Adrian Lewis.
It's become
Third leg Adrian to
fancy birthday cake in Burslem.
Well, that's 5 straight legs to Adrian Lewis. Anderson won the first of the match. Since then, it's been a Lewis landslide. It included the 9-darter. Ever seen anything like it in a World Championship final? It just doesn't get any better than that. But can Lewis keep the mind focused on the job?
Remember when Jockey beat Brissy? Jockey rocketed to 5-0. Now there has been tearaways before. Jockey won that one. Brissy made a great comeback.
140.
And remember Taylor against Brissy, semi-final 97. Circus Tavern. There have been comebacks.
57.
But they have usually always failed.
Eric Bristow just 22 when he won his first World Championship. A.D. Lewis is 25. He would be the youngest winner of the PDC World Championship by some considerable distance. Just 25, but playing like a vet.
64.
And his mentor, Keith Dalla, was 23 when he won it. Youngest embassy winner, of course, Jelle Klassen.
145. Adrian, you require 100.
For the set. 2 little topses, brilliant. Oh! My Gideon! He didn't use the air shot. He did a bump in. This man is being taken to the McLeaners on Trent England is known for top Borsey Lane. Well, if ever wanted a glass shatterer, Adrian is the lad. 2-0 up in no time at all on the flying Scot. Out playing him every way you want to remember. And he's done a 9-darter already. Runners, what will the girls want to know about Adrian doing maybe one or more?
Well, the sponsors, Ladbrokes.com, tell me that it's 5-1 against another 9-darter in this match, and it may well come in this leg after Anderson comes in with a maximum. And if you think Lewis can out-Taylor Taylor and do 3 in the match, surely that's the stuff of fantasy darts. You can get 66-1.
That's why I told me Dad didn't want to be a cricket commentator. You can keep loads. You can keep Old Trafford. Give me life on the hockey. We're lads who sweat and fling like jockey.
41st title, 1989. 21 years on. Anderson started favourite. He's not favourite anymore. Lewis is ripping him apart.
I remember a certain Geordie stood up there an hour and a half ago, said 7-4 to Lewis.
I'll tell you what, the way Lewis is playing now, Anderson will be delighted to get to 4 at some point. But, as you rightly said, Sid, there can be changes in the tide at any time. This might be one of them for Anderson. 8 for a 1-2-1.
It gets sort of sometimes under that sleek black raven heed that he's having a messy doubly night. Read it in Robert Burns. Tammy's last brutal. Double 8 coming in. Or not. Watch for him crunching up. He'll start a twitch.
15-dart leg, and only Gary Anderson second in the match. He won the opening match of this contest, then lost the next 6 to a rampant Lewis.
140. It should worry fans of the Scots, including Alex Salmond. Let's not put him off his salmon and chips. This lad has terrible worries, but last night Adrian rallied twice against Webster. Had 2 aquamarine purple patches. Might be in the mood for 3 tonight.
Well, earlier in the tournament, Gary Anderson blasted everything in his path away, bullied them. Only really Dennis Priestley stood up to him. Hashimoto, Smith, Priestley, Van Barneveld and Jenkins destroyed. As I say, only Dennis really gave him a game. Tonight, Lewis is not being bullied up there. Lewis is saying, hey, you have some of that.
I remember what Lewis did a year ago. Every average to the latter stages was 100.
92.
In a minute, sitting on 102.5, and take it from me, he's in the trough. Not that muscular dexterity.
Adrian, you've got 170.
This would shock the jock. Red bit.
100.
Pressure now then.
130.
Well, if he'd taken out the 170 as well as the 9-darter, Sid. Anderson for a 130 for double 5. Oh, Anderson biting back. The Scot is not finished yet. Another head for Lewis. What a contest this is. Real heavyweight dart, Sid.
Well, he said he had a good one out of the first 3. 80 looked like a kid who was in a Rolls Royce and is now standing at a Longton bus stop.
140.
Watching Rolls Royce talents. And then own illusion of it. This will be it.
140.
Well, both men now over the 100. That's only happened once in a final before. Barneveld Taylor, the greatest game ever in 07.
84.
Remembering that one. Taylor 3-0 up. And Barney did some zen behind the arras at the Circus Tavern. Came out 21 180s, won 7-6. Very elastic. If this is 63% of that, Stanos it'll be happening.
We'll settle for anything like that. It goes all the way to the last leg.
140.
We'll all be carried out, Sid. Well, Anderson, having lost 6 on the spin, is now looking for a hat-trick of legs in this set.
100.
First set on the board.
36.
He's taken out a 130. He's now looking in at 136. Another there. Double 8.
For his 10th 100 plus there. 10th 100 plus there, right time.
Gary Anderson.
Game on.
Welcome back to a breathless and breathtaking World Championship darts final. The Flying Scotsman, is he back on track after a 130 outshot, a 136 outshot? Gary Anderson is back to just 2-1 adrift of A.D. Lewis.
Well, makes his we reckon, and that may save his bacon. He had to get one of the first 3 sets, and he's done it. Could have fun now.
Well, Sid, as you and I both know, darts isn't about numbers at all, but here are the numbers. Both players averaging 102 and change, 7 180s, 6 ton plus finishes, an incredible 9 darts. What more can we expect? What more can we want?
3 9-darters, and I'd like to know what the bookies think of that in this one. It's possible. We're in the middle of a tartan purple patch by the Scot, which was much
60.
needed.
A tartan torrent from Anderson.
No, he was here last night.
Lewis hits his 6th of the match. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. 46 of the tournament. Anderson's got 50, make that
51. It's like when Rob McGregor was pouncing doing that.
100.
Looking for a wee redcoat to give a bit of bother. First world final. Englishman from Chesterfield Lure against the Welshman from Manisabol. Another international. A ball 2.
122.
Well, Lewis tried that last night in the semi. 2 treble 20s double 2. He missed it then.
89.
He's left himself in the madhouse.
Confident air shot. Pleases his last game.
The madhouse, not a sad house for Adrian Lewis. He takes the lead in set 4. At the end of the last set, the sponsors still made Anderson favourite at 6-4 on, even though Lewis led.
Magic. 10 maximums in the game so far. Records 31.
100.
Both players throwing with the leisurely, nonchalant air of 2 blokes playing for a pint down their local boozer, but this is the World Championship final.
100.
Well, that's what Kelly used to say. I play at Barcelona is if I play in my backyard. Only there's 2 foot, I'm a backyard. Magic!
Well, Anderson probably does play down his local boozer because he owns the boozer. He owns the Wellington in Ruxbridge.
140.
In Somerset, down at 87.
If you haven't put big extensions in me, it's this. And goes on to win. He wants drop. Wrong one. Opens the door for the Stokey.
37. Adrian, you require 81.
For further lead. Bullseye.
56. Gary, you require 50.
Now then, couple of chances gone a begging for either player. Anderson wants tops. Level the set. 2 10s.
Water in the wrist.
Adrian, you
If
require
there's water
24.
against the shot will be missed. Too late to go further ahead. Could be subtly out. Could have slithered down that barrel.
17.
Scared of the barrel.
Gary, you require 10.
Like the opening leg of set 2, Lewis eventually won that one after a missed double-a-thon. Double 5.
Towards the incoming flight.
In charge of
Feather
the second
tickle.
leg, Gary Anderson. Third leg, Adrian to throw first.
Beautiful. inside, they might bobble out.
136.
Anderson ended that argument. 2-1 in this set to Eddie Lewis.
Gotta get Charles. Gotta get another one. Gotta get another one.
125.
Any amount, big scoring. Lewis, 103. Anderson, 101.
Anderson trying to do something that only Phil Taylor has ever done before. Win the World Championship with a 100-plus average in every single match. Taylor did it last year.
Good point. Rising the other side was 107. 60 only. And he can take his foot off the metal. And then that metal is tungsten. Beautiful reaction shot.
95.
Should have done better.
Left himself the top out shot. We've seen one near miss from AD. 170. Reminder, did a 9-darter. Leg 3 of the match.
170.
Ball!
145.
Well, who can blame him for going for it? Anderson wasn't on a finish, but he wanted the roof raiser, the crowd pleaser.
140.
Absolute Hellraiser Stargazer. 9-8. To put pressure on. Snatching the dart. Pulling it
21.
inside. She knows this way. Buy a lot of oatcakes with 200,000 quid. Tops. Has to get this double 10, you think?
22.
Well, Lewis, who you could say showboated going for the ball for the 170, is going to get a chance at double 2.
Awkward lie.
He's been here before, Sid. Double 1.
Charge in the third leg. Adrian Lewis.
Change the shot
to throw first.
by 10 inches. Family sack.
139.
Look it up, yes I can.
Well, we have seen everything here tonight already. We're only in the 4th set.
44.
The 9 darts from Lewis, a near miss on a 170, 6-ton pluses, and yet 2 legs finishing on double 1.
55.
And 4 legs in, 600 plus finishes. That underpins the standard.
100.
Nothing in that. It will be down to Nipper and Tucker and Flicker
96.
in minuscule margins.
Whoever wins this match will be world champion, £200,000 richer, and officially the second best player in the world behind Phil Taylor.
And will be one of the double-star attractions of the Premier League. Starts second week of Feb.
100.
Both guaranteed a spot in that now, Sid, with progress to the final. Guaranteed to be in. Is this guaranteed to be in? Well, he should come out here, Sid, for treble 19. He was tempted to bang another match, but it would have been madness.
He's not going to get better chances than this. It's the 3-darter that pagas your concentration at the tops.
71.
New.
Adrian, you require 78.
Can't see 80 missing.
66 left, so he's going to have to go 16. The treble would leave double 9. Double 9. Oh, Lewis makes Anderson pay. Pay for missed doubles. 3-1 Lewis.
Looks as though 2,000 quid
First leg, Gary
is going
to throw first.
to 80's pad in the potteries. The Scot with it all to do.
Lewis has won the last 6 meetings between these two players, including one on the big stage at the Grand Prix 09 in Dublin. Lewis won that 3-2. He got a bit fruity on stage. Anderson thought Lewis was bouncing around on a dodgy floorboard. He wasn't.
Taylor also accused 80 of whooshing on the stage. Manley have a set to the circus talent.
Well, that game in Dublin
98
featured 16 maximums and a 167 for Lewis. We're trumping that tonight. 11 max already. And that magical moment, the 9-darter early on for AD Lewis.
Beautiful. Nestler now.
134.
This
Gary
is
require 84.
like spooning ambrosia. Double 12. It's going to be feather.
12 dart leg from Gary Anderson, and this relentless standard continues. Lewis,
25.
Has he cracked?
I bet that posh paper guy said this was not a good tournament once Taylor left. Wishes he'd rewritten his piece.
95.
There's creme de la dot in milk.
Well, Lewis with that slack visit at the start of this leg. Of course he hasn't cracked. Everyone's entitled to a slack visit now and again, and Nestler's it.
Cover. Treble 80.
93.
Finds the cover. Just the lad punch. 180 now. No thrutch. Oh, middle.
140.
Anderson hasn't been behind in the tournament until this. Can he find something from somewhere?
59.
By my reckoning, he'd be letting the missed doubles get on his mind. Another factor is having to get shots between 110 and 140. He's already got 12 in the tournament.
Adrian require 143.
But that's the sort of slim pickings Adrian's going to give him.
85.
Well, we've seen more missed doubles tonight from Anderson than we've seen in previous matches. He's now looking at the ball and will have to go for it.
58. Adrian, you require 58.
To keep on the kilt or the scot. The red bit, double 10.
38. Gary, you require 25.
Well, to take a real grip on this set, Gary Anderson has 2 darts at double 8. He has 1 dart at double 4.
21.
Across.
Adrian,
Lost
you
the line.
require
Pure
20.
attention. Missing my doubles is his mantra. Feather. Feather down the barrel.
Adrian Lewis.
He's doing
Third
8
leg
reels.
Grover.
He's doing
Game on.
Strath sprays. He'll soon be doing Highland clog dance, possibly on Gary.
Gary
50.
Anderson has won big darts tournaments, but he's never played in the final of the World Darts Championship. There have been those who questioned his temperament, questioned his missed doubles.
59.
I put in that column the IDL 07 when he beat Lewis in a very high standard competition, but we're talking since he came to the PDC 2 years ago.
Well, the question is now being asked of Gary Anderson. He's missed 14 attempts at a double. He was doubling at 44% before this match in the tournament. He's doubling at 30% tonight. It's a massive dip in doubling dexterity. This is the rarefied air of a world final sit.
What are they let us do in? It's a nice Nestler. Well, bad shot should at least one there.
Well, this is going to be his 5th.
Confidence. Immediate. Choosing words carefully now, the Geordie Lib. Instinctive, unlucky.
140. Gary, you require 80.
Well, I think he went for 2 double tops there with 3 in his hand.
He did.
60.
Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Maybe his brain's fried or frazzled up there on the big stage.
Only reason. Treble 10 will put the screaming Eebies
145.
of Gary.
Gary, you require 20.
Too risky, 2 double topses. Treble 10. It's going to be a feather. To the panic, the precision. Now this could suck it sideways.
No score.
Clumsy.
Anderson's brain is boiling over on the big stage. Lewis wants double 16. He knows how important this is. Anderson is suffering, and Lewis hasn't capitalised.
Flight got in the way. The 2 ladies.
Gary, you require 20.
Foreground, Lewis. Background. Scared of the bed.
In charge in the 3rd
Anderson
leg.
escapes. Anderson escapes. And that will make him feel a whole lot better I really feel, Sid, that had Lewis hit that double 16 and gone on to win this set, he could have buried
45.
Gary Anderson very quickly. But he didn't, and Anderson has got loose from the noose.
11 plus knows what precisely he's got to do, but he's missed some doubles. Precise. This lad's looking in rather than out. Precise. In rather than out. The magic. 11th darter to peg back to a 1 set
100.
deficit.
Gary require 81.
A few moments ago we were looking at Lewis going 4-1 in front. Now we're looking at Anderson closing in on going 3-2. Anderson is back in a set on
Well, we have a game on.
Welcome back to the 2011 World Darts Final. Midway through that fifth set, Gary Anderson was taking a fearful battering on the ropes, but he's clung on. He's won set 5, and he's back to just a set adrift at 3-2.
Down to play 13 sets. This is final, the biggest prize in world darts. Touring at dartsquidladbrooks.com. Sid Waddell with Rod Stud, engrossed by the potential these two players. Gary braced by 17 laddies. Indiana took the end. Heading off like a bomb. Scored 9 daughters in the opening set. But it has had 1 purple patch. He's got another 3. A bit like Arlington. Arlington lives in London. Oh, clever, clever, clever.
140.
Well, talking of big prizes, the sponsors report they've just laid a bet, hold on a minute, of £55,000 of Gary Anderson to win this match at 8-11, to win 40,000. Winning the competition only gets 200 grand, and there's a punter risking 55,000.
Remember Harry the Dog sticking a bundle to win 10 grand on Taylor beating Bristol. Bristol nearly lost, and he is back 1997.
Small change to Harry the Dog.
$130.
Anderson, 9 darts thrown, 135 left. When he won the IDL in 07, he said his ambition was always to be on a finish after 9 darts.
41.
He is on a finish after 9 darts. Can he take it out?
So he's 1200 plus that. Sierra, he might have to do big bundles in. 60.
99.
Bogey number.
Anderson fumbling, but he's not bumbling at the start of this set.
Because he doesn't want to start the car.
93. Gary require 36.
He's rumbling, Anderson. 2 18s.
Redbit. The power French son. Scared of the bed.
18. Adrian, you require 76.
Now, more hokey cokey pokey. Tops.
This time Lewis does punish the error by Anderson. An old Achilles heel of Gary Anderson.
100.
The plethora of missed doubles in clutches, in clumps.
And the Scotsman playing like a bad dozen mumps.
85.
Anderson has got to get his A game. 98, beating ladies average. 80 was dynamite. Those 2 sets. Much more red inclined now. Ocean of room.
140.
Anderson has hit 6 maximums tonight. That's at a lower ratio than earlier in the tournament when he was going a max every 2 legs. There's one. That's better. 7 in the match for Anderson.
Beautiful. Smoothness by both players in the attack. It's like golfers to the wee hoolie.
83.
This could be devastating. Double top for one of the ribs.
131.
Well, that would have been a blow to the kidneys. Anderson straight for 219s. Squeezed it in.
Good word.
The leg agent to throw first.
Like watching.
140.
Like watching an undercoater. Put it on blindfold. It's Glossier.
140.
Gets gloss. Vital set. What else?
Yeah. Will Lewis go 4-2 up and over halfway to the finishing line? Can Anderson level? Remember, he's been behind ever since the third leg of the match when Lewis hit the 9-darter. That's when Lewis took the lead, 2-1 in legs. He's been in front ever since.
Nestler would be handy.
97.
Needs treble, desperate. Got to go by the flight. Snatch shot. Third shot of the double. Had to be more precise.
Yeah, Lewis led from leg 3. This is leg 21 of what could be a marathon. Lewis has left himself 66. Will bank on Anderson not taking this out. Maybe he's banking wrong.
Ball! What a shot! 1300%! When right time! What a shot!
Bang! The ball! Good art, said Adrian Lewis. Good art.
Game on.
One of the eternal mysteries of this great sport. Gary Anderson has missed umpteen attempts at the outer ring of the board. The very smallest target on the board. The Pippins did, no problem.
It's one of the things that has upset his fans. All the way from Eyemouth to Somerset. He's in the zone. Not a lie.
95.
With extra power and control. It's going to be fun if it gets a 3-3.
And it's one leg away from 3-3 as Lewis puts 3 in the treble. Back comes Anderson. Back comes Anderson. For his 56th maximum of the tournament, just 2 away from Simon Whitlock's record from last year.
134. Gary, you require 86.
216s now. Snatching the dart. Got to be gentle through the flight. Gentle. It's about as gentle as a battle cruiser up the first of 4th. We got a match on here in Mozzarella in the Ali Pally. The world final is Lockeroo. Top darts. Brilliant. Finally have the Ladbrokes.com at the Ali Pally. The Flying Scott is matching purple patches. Stoke-on-Trent. Eddie Lewis. Alex Salmon will be happy. The Mayor of Stoke will be happy. Happy to welcome back into the box, John Gwynn.
Yes, thank you, Sid. Well, there you have it. Lewis 3, Anderson 3. Lewis early doors. I was beginning to wonder who'd written the script. Lewis Carroll, perhaps. But from what I've seen of late, maybe, Sid, it's Hans Christian Andersen.
But it's got to look grim for one of them at the end. Lewis in the opening set in a 9-darter. First time we've ever had one in the world. Fine. What an amazing game.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And it was forecast that these two lads would be giving us a real thriller. And they certainly are providing that. 9-darter from Lewis, third leg of the match. And a 1.64 checkout. Timely one from Anderson.
And that's 7 in the game by the lads. They will both have flashes and flushes, but they will both go off the boil.
55.
So it makes it funny. So the crowd I'll get the run back. And Rod Studd's on an ECG.
He looked a bit flushed when he was on his way out. Anderson throwing in 2-2-3 then. He'll be switching if he doesn't hit a treble. He'll have to switch in order. That's right, he's come down for 19 to leave himself on 144.
It's one of the lines he's winning. He's winning the average, 100. He's winning that ton plus S. This will calm him down. Because he's like a hedgehog in a Marmite jar with nerves.
Adrian, you require 82.
Fat 17. Lipstick.
62.
Yeah, just of late been throwing low at the 20. Earlier he was hitting it very securely indeed. So step in the Scot.
Game shot on the first leg.
Yes, he does what Lewis was unable to do there, Sid. What a game this is.
But we saw Lewis have a purple patch. Two actually gets Vandervoort. And we're just waiting, me and John, for 80's second blast 210 average.
Yes, that's right. The surge that both of these players are capable of. And Lewis certainly started with a surge, Sid, didn't he? Dipped a bit. I thought Anderson slowed him down a bit. I thought that was tactically good.
Well, Adrian started things with a kiss of Prince Harry last night. Not many people get a kiss Monarchy on the throat. 25 sounding. Brilliant shot.
Yeah, leaves him on a 10 darter. Pales into insignificance, of course, compared with the brilliant 9 darter he provided earlier in this wonderful, wonderful cathedral of Anna swinging.
10 darter. Easy as peasy pudding. Almost an honorary Geordie, this lad. Spent a lot of time in Eyemouth and down towards Berwick. Hasn't got much of a blocks. Jacks it. Blocks the bed, surely cover. Now Nestle.
96.
Clumsy shot. But look at that for parietal behaviour. Nothing in for 100. 3-3, 1-1. Scott. Not. Yes. Should be at the double first, John.
Should be, Sid. But this is where sometimes Lewis hits the 180, gets a 140, puts him back in the leg. Only one in it.
2-0 to Lewis, including 9 darter. And Gary found some form. That's the letter from the right honourable, Alex Salmon. He's probably eating the Mars bar fry trepidatiously.
65.
Only 2 sets have gone against the throw, the first and the last one was completed. That's why this game is now right back firmly in the balance. Anderson, firm favourite to take this leg, but I said Lewis had pressurised. Another 180. Brilliant stuff from Lewis. He's in double figures, Sid.
Well, world record for a final PDC 31 180s when Tiller played Barney in 07. Pushed the guard, Tension coming through. Oh, what a shot! He didn't give ever time to blink.
Well, I said Anderson was favourite for the leg, but brilliant pressure shooting from Lewis. The 180, I think, was the reason why Anderson then missed. And Lewis, with that predatorial instinct you mentioned, just stepped in perfectly.
And it is serpentorial, predatorial. The arm goes like a hungry anaconda. Instinctive. Must be a red bit.
Sometimes it's like a very big adder.
96.
60 piles on 60.
Too much shoulder in that. Jockey Wilson Thrutch. Nice adjustment. Superb after a single. Blackbit. Blackbit's no good. Red bit's canny. Lost the line. 80. It's the red bit 3 times. Perfect lie low in the bed. Perfect lie low in the bed. Anywhere you like.
Yep.
Exactly where you like.
Absolutely, Sid. Your rat-a-tat-tat there was as lively and as likely as his. 24 he wants.
Double.
12 got to come down. And he does. Oh, yes. Lewis.
The precision transferred from the red bit to the double. Absolute marvellous. Heading out. 4-3.
Yes, welcome back to this magnificent final, and the arm of Adrian Lewis stays ashore. That is the set, that is the lead by 4-3.